Good morning, everyone. So I am Sir Raymore Torio Marara from Binmalay, Pangasinan.
Yes, and good morning as well. I am Miss Lalin A. Taharica from Baybay, Aguilar, Pangasinan.
Your today's reporter.
Yes, and today we will be discussing articulatory phonetics, focusing on consonants.
Okay, before we start, let's be energized with this video that has something to do with today's topic.
Everything else is a consonant. Vowels are sounds which you make with your mouth. You don't need your teeth. You don't need your tongue. A, E, I, O, U. See? You didn't need your teeth. You didn't need your tongue to make those sounds. A, E, I, O, U are the vowels. A, E, I, O, U are the vowels. A, E, I, O, U are the vowels. Everything else is a consonant. A, vowel. B, consonant. C, consonant. D, consonant. E, vowel. F, consonant. G, consonant. H, consonant. I, vowel. J, consonant. K, consonant. L, consonant. M, consonant. N, consonant. O, vowel. P, consonant. Q, consonant. R, consonant. S, consonant. T, consonant. U, vowel. V, consonant. W, consonant. X, Y, Z, consonant. A, E, I, O, U are the vowels. A, E, I, O, U are the vowels. A, E, I, O, U are the vowels. Everything else is a consonant.
Alright, well, I hope you like the video and you're all in good condition. At this juncture, let's have our objectives. First, to define consonant. Second,
Classify the consonant sound according to 3 dimensions.
and of course, the third is to differentiate consonant sounds to vowel sounds.
Last meeting, some of our classmates here discussed substantial information on articulatory phonetics, focusing on vowels. Vowels produced with a relatively free flow of air. Diphthongs, combined vowel sounds. And of course, consonants form when the air stream is restricted at the sound points between the vocal cords and the lips.
Alright, in addition to what Sir Raymond have read, let's have additional information or meaning to today's topic, consonants. So consonant is a letter of alphabet that represents a basic speech sound produced by obstructing the breath of the vocal tract. Aside from that, all the letters in the alphabet apart from A, E, I, O, and U, of course those are vowels, are known as consonants. And when we pronounce consonants, the airflow out of the mouth is completely blocked, greatly restricted, or diverted through the nose. Now, here as you can see, we have these different consonant sounds, and as you can see, we have 23 consonant sounds on our IPA. So Raymar, let's have the consonant classification.
Number 1 is voicing. The manner of articulation, place of articulation.
Okay, so the first piece of information we need to know about a consonant is its voicing.
Voice, sounds which are made with a vocal cord vibration. Voiceless, sounds made without vocal cord vibration.
Okay, so if you put a finger in each ear and say zzz, you can feel the vibration. If you put a finger in each ear and say sss, you will not feel any vibration. And when you whisper, you are actually making all the speech sounds voiceless. Okay, so
for more information, let's watch this video in order for us to know how humans produce speech or sounds.
How humans produce sound. I hope you are excited to watch this video. I am excited to start too. So why wait? Let's begin. You must be wondering what this vibrating thing next to me is. Also, you might have observed the vibrations or the movement have stopped when I stopped talking. Let's take a look again. So what do you think it is? Seems like it's something related to my speech. We already know that vibrating objects produce sound. In a guitar, it is a string. In a tabla, it is a stretched membrane. And in a flute, it is the air column that produces sound. And that was about how instruments produce sound. But what is it that vibrates when we humans produce sound? It is the voice box that produces sound in human beings. And where is it located? If you put your fingers on your throat, you will find a hard bump that seems to move when you swallow. This part of the body is known as the voice box or larynx. Make a sound and touch the voice box. You can clearly feel that it is vibrating. To be more specific, it is located at the upper end of the windpipe. Two vocal cords are stretched across the voice box in such a way that it leaves a narrow slit between them for the passage of air. When the lungs force air through the slit, the vocal cords vibrate, producing sound. Great. If all humans have a voice box, why do their voices sound different? We can easily recognize our friends, mothers, or teacher's voice, can't we? How do we do that? There are muscles attached to the vocal cords. These muscles can make the cords tight or loose. This is how it sounds when vocal cords are tight and thin. Let's hear what it sounds like when the vocal cords are loose and thick. Can you make out the difference? Yes. When the vocal cords are tight and thin, the type or quality of voice is different from that when they are loose and thick. Voice quality also depends on the length of the vocal cord. Let's understand this through an activity. Take a rubber band and stretch it to its maximum extent, leaving a narrow gap in between the two sides. Pluck the rubber band and listen to the sound. Let me change the length of the rubber band and pluck it again. Can you hear a different sound? In the same way, our vocal cords vibrate and produce sound. Also, how we differentiate the voice of an adult male, female and child can be explained in the same way. The voice of children, men and women, are different because they have vocal cords of different lengths. The vocal cords in men are about 20 mm long. In women, vocal cords are about 15 mm long, and children have very short vocal cords. So there is a clear difference in their voices. Great. We have just explored the mystery behind the sounds we produce. Time to recap what we have learned. Humans produce sound through the voice box or larynx. It is located at the upper end of the windpipe. Two vocal cords are stretched across the voice box or larynx in such a way that it leaves a narrow slit between them for the passage of air. When the lungs force air through the slit, the vocal cords vibrate, producing sound. Muscles attached to the vocal cords can make the cords tight or loose. When the vocal cords are tight and thin, the type or quality of voice is different from that when they are loose and thick. Vocal cords in women are about 15 mm long, in men, vocal cords are about 20 mm long, and children have very short vocal cords. Great. Now, have you ever tried mimicking someone else's voice or talking in a different voice? I'm sure you have. I want you to think about why you are able to talk in different voices. It has something to do with your vocal cords. So try answering that, and I'll see you soon.
Alright, so there you have it. Now as you can see, we have here our chart that give us the different consonant sounds, and we can be able to classify whether if it is voice or voiceless. So here they are. Next,
The places of articulation.
yes, so we have here, as you can see, the bilabial,
Dental,
alveolar,
interdental,
labiodental,
palatal,
in the palato-alveolar. So let's start. So Raymart with the very first one.
The first one is bilabial. Bilabial is the lower and the upper lips approach or touch each other as in the sounds b, b, and m. And of course, bilabial also, if we obstruct our vocal tract at the lips, like the sounds of b and p, the place of articulation, we call it bilabial.
Alright. Next, we have the labiodental. The lower lip approaches or touches the upper teeth as in the sounds f and v. The consonant f and v are made with the top teeth, as you can see in the picture, and the bottom lip, so these are called labiodental sounds.
And the third one is the dental and interdental. The tip of our blade of the tongue approaches or touches the upper teeth as in the sounds of s and z.
Alveolar. The tongue tip approaches or touches the alveolar ridge. The ridge immediately behind the upper teeth as in the sounds t, d, and n, s, z, and l. So as you can see in the picture, those sounds are under alveolar.
Palatal. The body of the tongue approaches or touches the hard palate as in the tongue body approaches the hard palate but close enough to create turbulence in the airstream.
Yes. Next, we have velar. The body of the tongue approaches or touches the soft palate or velum, as in k, g, and ng.
Glottal. The glottis is the opening between the vocal folds in an h. This opening is narrow enough to create some turbulence in the airstream flowing past to the vocal folds, and that is glottal.
Now, let's focus on the third piece of information we need to know about consonant, and that is, of course, the manner of articulation. Here we have stop or plosives, fricatives, affricates, glides, liquids, and etc.
The manner of articulation under oral and nasal.
In manner of articulation, we should, of course, see to it that we know what is under obstruents and what is under sonorants. So as you can see here, stops, fricatives, and affricates are under obstruents. An obstruent is a consonant sound formed by obstructing the upward airflow, causing increased air pressure in the vocal tract. Obstruents are those articulations in which there is a total closure or a stricture causing friction. And under sonorants, you have nasal, liquids, and glides. Here, sonorants are those articulations in which there is only a partial closure or an impeded oral or nasal scape of air. So let's have the first example of manner of articulation. So Raymart?
The first one is plosives, thick explosion or stops. Plosive is produced by the obstruction of airstream from the lungs, followed by a release of the airstream.
Second, fricatives. Think of friction. Here in fricative, produced by the release of a friction-like noise created by the airstream escaping through a variant and narrow gaps in the mouth, such as
One. The third one is the nasal. Okay, the nasal is produced by the release of the air through the nasal cavity.
Let's have affricatives. Affricatives is a combination of stop plus fricative, just like the example here.
Approximate, produced by proximity or closeness of two articulators without turbulence, hard movement, and friction-like noise.
And of course, we have lateral, also called lateral approximant, where air flows over sides of tongue. Now, here we have the place, voice, manner, or the PVM chart. Copyright 2015. And it shows here the manner of articulation, the voicing, and the place of articulation. And here, as you can see, we have the 23 consonant sounds. And we can be able to see here where are we going to put the consonant.
Hey everybody, welcome. Thanks for joining us. So today we will be talking about articulatory phonetics. This is the study of how speech sounds are produced in the vocal tract. All of our articulators in our vocal tracts must work in concert to produce just one speech sound. This is to say nothing of the complexity of these motor routines in casual speech. So, just a note, we will be focusing on the phonetics of spoken languages, and more specifically, consonant sounds in North American English in this video. So, what's the difference between consonants and vowels, you might ask? Well, basically, consonants involve some constriction of airflow, whereas vowels do not. When linguists describe consonant sounds, we use three criteria: voicing, place of articulation, and manner of articulation. Let's talk about each of these in turn. Voicing, or state of the glottis, refers to what the vocal folds are doing. When air passes through open vocal folds, we call these voiceless sounds. When air passes through vibrating vocal folds, we call these voiced sounds. You can feel the difference between voiced and voiceless sounds by putting your hand right here on your Adam's apple if you're a male, or where your Adam's apple would be if you're a female. So produce these two sounds in succession. S, z, s, z. Which one produces the vibration? You should feel that z produces a vibration, so it's a voiced sound, whereas s does not produce the vibration, so it's a voiceless sound. Place of articulation refers to where in the vocal tract the constriction of airflow takes place. Bilabial sounds are produced with both lips, like p, b, m. Labiodental sounds are produced with the upper teeth and the lower lip, such as f, v. Interdental sounds are produced with the tongue in between the upper and lower teeth, such as th, th. Alveolar sounds are produced with the tongue at or near the ridge right behind the upper front teeth, such as t, d, s. Palatal sounds are produced at the hard palate or the roof of the mouth, such as sh, zh, y. Velar sounds are produced at the velum or soft palate, such as k, g. And glottal sounds are produced at the glottis or the space between the vocal folds, such as h, or the catch in the throat as in Batman. Manner of articulation refers to how the airflow is constricted in the vocal tract. Stop sounds result from a complete constriction of airflow, followed by a release of that air, such as p, t, k, b, d, g. Fricatives are sounds produced when the tongue approaches but does not make contact with a place of articulation, causing a bottleneck of the airflow. And this gives the sound a friction-like quality, such as v, f, z, sh. Affricates result from a sequence of stop plus fricative in rapid succession. So the affricate ch represents t plus sh, just as the affricate j results from d plus j. Nasal sounds are produced when the velum is lowered, allowing air to pass through the nasal cavity, such as Liquid sounds are produced by allowing air to pass by one or both sides of the tongue, and the tongue itself can move a lot to shape the sound, such as ul, Glide sounds are produced with very little constriction of airflow, so little, in fact, that they are often referred to as semivowels, such as w, y. And finally, we have tap sounds. Tap sounds involve a rapid flick of the tongue to some place of articulation. In North American English, we only really have one tap, and that's at the alveolar ridge. You can hear the tap sound in the word butter, butter. Now notice where we write it with two T's in English that your tongue is producing a tap sound there rather than a full stop or plosive sound. So in North American English you say butter. Now as compared to in received pronunciation where you say butter, that involves a full t stop. Okay, we've discussed these three criteria for describing consonant sounds: voicing, place of articulation, and manner of articulation. And when linguists talk about a consonant sound, they do so in that order. So, for example, the sound b is considered a voiced bilabial stop. S is a voiceless alveolar fricative. That's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. So please check out our other videos, including articulatory phonetics and vowels, and also how to navigate the International Phonetic Alphabet. See you later.
most languages, speech sounds which are produced by human speech organs are classified into vowel and consonant. First is the vowel sounds. The vowel sounds are normally further classified based on the position of the tongue, the high, the mid, and the low, or the position of mandible, open or close. The part of the tongue, front, the central, and the back. And of course, the shape of the lips under the vowel sound is to be rounded or unrounded.
Okay, so as today's topic, we have consonant sounds. Again, consonant sounds are classified based on the place of articulation or the place in the mouth where the sound is produced or where there is the most contact or near contact of articulators. The manner of articulation were used to classify sounds by how they are produced, and the voicing, where there is voice and there is voiceless. Okay. Now, we are done with the discussion. So let's have your quiz. And we will be, but don't worry, we will post it in our Google Classroom.
Okay, once again, thank you. I hope you enjoyed in our topic for this afternoon. So again, my name is Sir Raymark Marara.
And I am Lalin Pajarito, your today's reporters in this software. Thank you and God bless.